Hey, so this is a real quick overview of the research project as a whole. I'm not telling you everything we should do, but just kind of how it's structured and how it goes together. So let's take a look at it. Um, First of all, well, obviously on your schedule we'll be reading. So we're reading various parts of the research assignment itself because there are multiple steps to it. We're not just writing the whole research paper tomorrow. So hallelujah, right? So you'll be reading this. There are basically four steps, though: these topic questions, the annotated bibliography, research essay, and the final. Um, and with this, you're going to read about this. This is an email assignment, so you're sending that to me. That is a assignment where you do it, read the instructions. If you do it and follow the instructions and do it correctly, and it's really easy, like really easy, it's a 100 as long as it's on time. Okay, because also there's a different kind of time limit for that because I need to get those back to you really quick so you can make sure you're not doing too much research if you need to direct it one way or another. So that's the first one. So you'll do that. What you'll do is you'll do that. Send me some ideas, and obviously it has to do with your topic. I'll send you feedback back, some tips, some links. I like help you out some. So make sure you read my feedback because like it gives you some start on your research. Okay. And then the next thing we do is we do this annotated bibliography. And it is a totally, these are totally different assignments. These are basically, we can look at them and there's three different assignments here. There's the topic, there's the annotated bibliography, and this is basically you're going out and you're doing your research, and this is an assignment where you're putting together all your research. Here's what I found, here's what other people say. And so there's a specific way. This is an assignment that is like assigned in lots of different classes. And I do have a lot of students come back to me or email me later on. And because like I thought about dropping it and I used to kind of blow it off and say, well, you might do this in an English class. And then I had a lot of students come back and say, you know what? I ended up having to do that in a lot of classes in my major or in other classes. And like that counted like a whole test or a project or whatever. It is something that apparently gets assigned quite a bit outside of English. But it's just a way to it's kind of a formal, a kind of assignment that you put your research together and say, okay, I found this, and here's what this one says, and here's what this one says, and that. So that does that. And then the last two parts, the research essay, draft, and the final, well, those are the same things, right? Because after you find your research, then you can say, what do I think about it? And you put your research together with your explaining and your thoughts, and that becomes your essay. So just remember, the annotated bibliography is one thing, and the research paper is a different one, right? That's only your research, and then your paper itself is you're saying, hey, yeah, here's this research, and here's what I think about it, okay? And so you'll turn in the draft to me, and well, with the annotated bibliography, you turn that in to me. I'll grade it, and then we'll give you an opportunity to revise it for a higher grade. With the draft, you turn that draft into me, and you turn it in, and you're thoughtful about it. You get 100 on the draft. That is not your final grade for the paper. Remember, 30% of your grade comes from just the final paper, okay? But I'm not going to grade it before you've gotten some feedback for me. So you turn in the draft, I give you feedback, say, yeah, this is good. Hey, wait, don't forget to do this. Here's how you fix this. That I do teaching. Crazy. I know. Teach before you grade. Weird. And then I'll get it back to you, and you'll have a week or so. Because we're 8 weeks, a week or two. I try to get back to you pretty quickly. But as of the first of the semester, there's 30 in the class. So, I'll do my best, but it just to actually read and give comments is a lengthy process. That's like 30 hours. Okay. So anyway, but that's how that works. I'll give it back to you. And then you have my comments. You can work on it, ask me questions, and then you turn it in for that final grade. Okay, so that's how the research assignment itself works, is we have these different stages we're going through and different kinds of assignments there. Now, don't forget that your resources, of course, along with, what's in the research assignment, and we're just kind of reading, the parts as we need them. But also, everything we're reading to lead up to it, is teaching you how to do these things, okay? Here I am talking about doing that question, and we're reading about a research question. We're reading about this, okay, how do we write in this academic form? Remember, the academic tone of writing is not something we talk in. I don't talk like that. You don't talk like that. Very few people talk like that. So we have to learn how to write in it. It's a different voice. And the best thing you can do for that is actually think about, reading samples. And of course, as we go through, as we get to them, like with the topic questions, we'll look at samples. This has samples. There's samples in the assignment. So we'll be doing that. And same thing with the annotated bibliography. When we're working on it, there's a sample to look at. Same thing when we get to the paper. So we start thinking about, okay, how do we go beyond the annotated bibliography? And here, in a couple of weeks, we get to the paper. We're looking at samples. And remember, you can always go to the 1302 research page, right? Research page. And down at the bottom, there's our samples. So a sample topic question. We're not doing this pre-writing, but we're doing the annotated bibliography, the final essays. So we're looking at two of them, but there's other ones. And one of the best things you can do to help you do this kind of writing, the topic question is more just natural, you're just talking to me, okay? But the annotated bibliography, and when you find your research will be written in this formal language too. The best thing you can do for your writing this way is to read it out loud. You don't have to read all of it, a paragraph or two here or there. Every day you sit down to work on this. Read it out loud. It helps you get that style, and you start to hear that voice. These samples, when you look at the samples, don't just read them silently. Read them out loud. You will start to hear that voice. That will help you write in that way, because you're learning basically a language or a dialect of our language that we don't speak. And we learn better when we speak it. So that's one of the best things you can do. I advise anytime you're working on your writing, read whatever kind of writing you need to do out loud. If you're studying something and you are having struggling remembering the concepts, it will help you remember better. Read it out loud. It will help you understand it and process it better. Read it out loud. So those are my major tips for this. Those are the various kind of parts of what's going on with the assignment. And all in all, that's really what it's composed of. Just remember, it's a step-by-step thing. It's not all do at once. There are things where you'll read about the assignment on the schedule, and then, of course, it's not due for another week or two, because like with the annotated bibliography, you need to not only find your research you're going to use, but actually read it and write about it in that annotated bibliography using those instructions. So you're reading the assignment a couple of weeks before it's due, because, well, that'd just be cruel to have it due the next day. No, we don't roll that way. Okay. So there you go. There's an overview of the research project. Just, get moving on it, and let me know if you have questions. Take care.